My son came home the other day and said what I was doing was very sus. And I didn't know what he meant. And so I had to ask him, what does sus mean? And apparently it's suspicious. You know, as he gets older, I'm sure there's going to be more slang and things that are going to pop up that I have no idea what he's talking about. I'm going to have to ask him. And, you know, I could play this game with him, right? I could ask him what 3 in the tree means. Or I could ask him, what's a pager? You know, you ever gone on a Walkman or been with a Walkman? Be kind, rewind. What does that mean? Right? And so if you have some younger folks in your life, ask them those questions and see what the response is. And the investment industry is really bad for this, right? You hear advisors talking about all these different terms. So I'm going to go over some terms that you may have heard before and just going to go over what they mean. Drop, correction, bear market. So we hear these terms all the time. None of them are good, right? It means things are down. And so a drop generally means 5%. Like I view that as a 5% is a drop. Other people may have different definitions, but 5% is kind of common. A correction is 10%. That's kind of industry known as a correction. Markets drop 10% from its high. A bear market is a 20% decline or a sustained period. Some people say we've entered a bear market, even it just drops down 20 and comes back up, but that would be a bear market. We've also heard about a benchmark. So what's a benchmark? And so a benchmark is something to compare it to. So if you heard of the S&P 500, that's often a benchmark. How did your portfolio do versus this other portfolio? Or how did the portfolio do this? Is the TSX? That's another benchmark. So they compare each other. That's what a benchmark is. The term equity. Well, what's equity? Well, equity can mean a lot of things, but generally, if you're talking about investments, it means stocks. How much equity do you have? How much stocks do you have in your portfolio? Fixed income is another one. So that could be GIC, that could be bonds. Basically anything a lot safer is known as fixed income. Oftentimes they'll say like a 60-40 portfolio, where the first number is equity, the second number is fixed income, or the first number is stocks and the second number is bonds. And there's different, alternatives and stuff in there, but like that's kind of what that means. And you may have heard, oh, the futures market's opened down, or the future market's opened up, or closed down. The futures market, that term, if you're hearing that on the news, it generally means that they're predicting what the next day's open or close is going to be. It's not as accurate as you think. In 2016, when President Trump was elected the first time, the futures market, so this is the overnight market, stock market's closed, but the futures market where people can still trade, is predicting a big decline the next day. Market opened up positive that day. And just a few weeks ago, we had the 3rd and 4th, Thursday, Friday, market went down 10%. That Sunday, opening up Monday, market was predicted to go down another 4%, the futures market. And the next day, I think the market was down less than 1%. So it's not as accurate of what's going to happen, but that's kind of what's happening. It's this overnight or like 4 hours trading market that's trying to predict what the market's going to be, not necessarily that accurate. So I hope you like that. If you have other ones you want to know about, please let me know.